Okay, friends, here we go. We're at the last part of our reading for Monday. We are going to be talking about our senses, how we see, hear, smell, taste. And we're going to do that with a few different pictures. Now, first of all, we read about a sunflower. Now, I don't have the sunflower book that I read to you earlier today because I have to share it with Mrs. Skinner. She let me borrow hers. However, I do have another sunflower book. So I pulled that out to see if it could help us with what we're talking about. So we're going to do a couple things at the same time. All right. So how about if we do this? Let's see if this will work. All right. You can see the words, you can see the picture, and you can see me. I think it'll work. All right. So let's look at the picture and what can we see? What can we see when we look at that picture? I see yellow petals. I see brown seeds, and one of the books said that describes it as puffy. And I see big leaves. So that's what I see. What could I hear? How about if the wind is blowing? So this is what I want you to do. I want you to pretend, you can even close your eyes if you want to, pretend that the leaves are blowing. Kind of go like this. Does that kind of sound like leaves blowing? Maybe a little bit. Okay, so that would be what you could hear. The sunflower doesn't talk, so you can't hear it that way. But we know that when leaves blow, they make a little rustling sound. How about smell? You know what? I don't really know what sunflowers smell like. So maybe that's something that you and I both can check out at the end of the summer when we find sunflowers that are standing nice and tall. How about touch? If we touched the leaves, what do you think they might feel like? They might be soft. I don't really know a lot about sunflowers. I don't know. They might be a little prickly, or they might have like a little bit of fuzz on them. Those are some things that I don't know. So that's something else that I could check out next August when they get nice and big. How about taste? What part of the sunflower do we taste? How many of you have had a sunflower seed? Those come from the middle. And some people roast them in the oven with salt on them, and then they eat them, just like they would eat grapes or nuts or things like that. So those are the things, the senses that we use when we look at a sunflower. Let's look at another picture. How about this? You see that? What's that? Some soup? It reminds me of tomato soup. And I think I told you on Friday that I used to have, maybe it was with math, that I used to have brown crackers called the Rye Crisp in my tomato soup. So what do we see? We see reddish orange soup, right? What do we hear? Now we usually warm up soup in the microwave, so we probably wouldn't hear what the book says, but the book says we could hear it bubbling. And when I was growing up, we didn't have microwaves, and so we had to heat it on the stove. And when it was bubbling and steaming, that's how we knew it was nice and hot. So we could hear that it was ready. How about smell? If you like tomato soup, you can smell it, can't you? Oh, it makes you feel nice and warm inside. It makes you want a grilled cheese sandwich with it. Oh, yum. How about touch? What would happen if we touched tomato soup? Well, if it was hot, what would happen? We'd get burnt, right? But what would it feel like? It would feel wet, right? Kind of soft but wet, okay? It's about the only way you can touch soup, right? And what would it taste like? Yummy, right? All right, let's try another one. How about this one? I better put that a little closer so you can see what kind it is. Can you see what kind of pie that is? That is a cherry pie. So you are seeing a pie. Can you hear a pie? You could hear somebody eating a pie though, right? And go, this is so yummy. What would it smell like when it's coming out of the oven? So yummy, right? I love the smell of things baking. It makes your home feel so cozy. How about touch? What would the crust feel like? The crust would be soft, kind of flaky. You don't really want it crunchy, but you like it soft and flaky and kind of bumpy. And what would the cherry filling feel like? Oh, that'd be kind of wet and kind of slimy, right? And if it just came out of the oven or was still warm, you would have a warm feeling on your fingers. What if it just came out of the refrigerator? Then what? Would be cold. You're right. All right. And how about taste? Oh, yum, right? Especially with ice cream or whipped topping on it. All right, let's do one more. What is that? That's a glass of what? Orange juice. Good. So you are seeing, you are seeing a glass of orange juice. Can we hear anything? Maybe when we're pouring it, we might hear boo, 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 or something like that, okay? If it's sitting here, would we hear anything? No. How about smell? What would it smell like? It would smell like oranges, right? Okay. Touch. If you touched orange juice, what's it going to feel like? It's going to be wet, right? What if you touched an orange, like the outside of an orange? What would that feel like? That would be bumpy, right? What if you touched the inside of the orange? That would be kind of moist. We talked about moist and kind of bumpy in a different way. And then we get the juice where it's just wet, right? And it might have some pulp in it. So it might be a little bumpy if it has some of those teeny pieces of pulp in it. And what does it taste like? Some people love it. Some people are like, ooh, this is sour. And some people don't like it at all. It depends on your taste. So, these are called senses. See, hear, smell, touch, and taste. All right, now we're going to switch to the board and we're going to get ready to do our writing page. It is the first page of your next packet, week 3. And I'm trying to get it as close as I can here. It has a cat, a ring, and a koala on top. Can you find that page? It should be number 24. So we're going to do the letter K today. So this is a review, but we know K. And what does K say? K. All right, let's review how we make a capital K and a lowercase k. Capital K isn't too tricky. Lowercase k is kind of tricky. So capital, we do a nice straight line. And then we go up to the top, come into the dotted line, and go back out again. It's kind of like making a sideways triangle without closing it. The lowercase k is a little bit trickier because you go all the way to the ceiling, to the floor for the first part, but then you have to stay under that dotted line to make the other part. So that's where it's kind of tricky. All right, we are going to look at the pictures and we're going to circle the ones that start with the K. So first one, kitten. Does kitten start with K? Yes, it does. How about ring? No. How about koala? Yes. We have some girls that love koalas in my class, including me. All right, they gave you a lowercase k that you can trace, and then go ahead and make a capital K right next to it. Remember, you're using those lines, so you're taking your time and you're doing an amazing job. All right, let's look at the next row. We have a gnat. What do you think? No. How about a kangaroo? Yes, go ahead and circle it. And this kangaroo has her Joey in her pocket. And do you know what this is? This is kiwi. It's a kind of fruit. Go ahead and circle that. And then you're going to make your capital K. And then be really careful on that lowercase k to keep it in the downstairs. Last, we're going to look at number 3. What do we have first? Key. What do you think? I almost gave it to you. Yes. All right. Who do you think that is? I'm thinking it's a king. Do you agree with me? Should we circle it? Yes. How about that last one? What is that? A dolly. Are we going to circle the baby doll? No. If we called it baby doll, it would start with a B. If we just call it a doll or a dolly, it would start with a D. But either one of them is not what we're working on, is it? So go ahead and very neatly make your last set of K. All right, boys and girls, that wraps up our Monday reading. I hope you have a great day. Please remember to upload this page for your teacher if you are at home. And I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.